Hi, truly excited. I would want to share one of my experiences which actually made a tremendous change in how I approach fear. And I thought of writing this in book when I eventually write a book. But I said, why not just share the concept? It's been with me for too long. So it happened probably 5, 6, 7 years back. Very interestingly, so I, with my group of buddies and colleagues, were practicing for Spartan race. Spartan was a craze, and we wanted to finish all the three Spartan races in the same year, and we were training hard for that. So one of the race which I was doing alone because my team was not ready for that race, and they wanted to do a lighter version of race, which was in the evening. Now, it was early morning, 6 o'clock race. Spartan started, and pretty excited, pumped up, been training for this for long. Went to the racetrack, the flag went through, and went to different hurdles. So, if you not know, Spartan race is not a regular race, it's a race where you also have obstacles. So, the different kind of obstacles in the race, which makes it much difficult. So, you need to be a complete person. What I mean by complete is your upper body strength, your lower body strength, your endurance, everything is has to be great to finish the race in good time without missing any obstacles and without doing any penalty. So typically a penalty for not being able to do one of the obstacle is 30 burpees. So you need to do 30 burpees and then you can move on to the next obstacle. Otherwise you're stuck there. So my idea was like train so much. I never wanted to fail, didn't want to do any burpees. So I did obstacle 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I reached an obstacle which is called 7-foot wall. Now, pretty interesting. This is a 7-foot wall in front of me. I never climbed a wall. We never trained. We just generally trained in the gym. So we had no clue, or I had no clue how to jump a 7-foot wall. I'm not even 6 foot, right? So it's morning, 6:15, 6:30. There's a person standing there to make sure that people don't cheat. Now I'm standing, the wall is standing, and I'm looking for somebody to come across so that I can see what's happening. Well, 30 seconds went off, the wall is standing, I'm standing, and I'm embarrassed. Time went on, it was a minute, I'm still standing, the wall is standing, nobody's moving. The reason I didn't want to do burpees as a penalty is because it was like a failure to me, and I said, I don't want to do this. I mean, what do I do? So it kept on happening, and then another minute went off, just 2 minutes. I said, this is getting crazy, this is not what I am built. So I said, okay, let's do one thing. Let's run to the wall, try to jump over the wall and see whether I could do it or not. At the most, I may not. I'll try again. So I gathered all my strength, put up the best version of mine, ran to the wall, put one foot, put the second foot, and I crossed the wall. I crossed the wall. I continued running for my next obstacle, and I kept on thinking, what was holding me back? And what was holding me back was fear. But now it gets more interesting. So this is a very tough. So I went through many obstacles, a very tiring day. I took an hour's nap because the next race was there, and I went back again for the next race. Now this is where the interesting part comes in, right? So now we are a bunch of about 7 and 8 of us doing the same obstacle course, and then we all reached to the 7-foot wall. Now the people in my team or my group were like 6'1", 6'2" also, and we were all standing at the 7-foot wall and all imagining, what do we do now? How do we get over this wall? And I'm like smirking internally. I'm like, okay, I've done it, but let's see what you do. And the same situation, like all of us had this fear, and we're wondering and waiting and doing that. I said, okay, let's do one thing. So I ran to the wall and I crossed. And when people saw that reference point, everybody from the team who was not trained to jump a wall jumped a wall. And then we all finished. We had parties and everything. But eventually the reflections came to me. I said, most of us are afraid. And we don't know how big the obstacle is. So we catastrophize, amplify it, and we make it so big. And then actually it's not. So it's all about approaching the fear, approaching the challenge. And you may never know, it is not as big we think. So that brings back a lot of reflection. I spent a lot of time. That's why I wanted this to be one of the chapters of my book, which I will write, which internally I'll write one day. And then there are a lot of stories that came in related to me. So one of the stories is about Roger Bannister. If anybody knows, in 1950s or before that, 1954, nobody had completed a mile in less than 4 minutes. And everybody said it's impossible to finish a mile in less than 4 minutes. And then on May 6, 1954, this medical student, Roger Bannister, did that. He did it less than 4 minutes. Now, what's amazing is that after he did this, there are tons of athletes who actually did that because they had a reference point. It is possible. So a lot of time we're waiting for a reference point if something is possible or we can see something. But if you head on, maybe you're the first person to break through. A similar story that recently I was scrolling through social media was about Dick Crosby. Now, for 72 years in Olympics, for the high jump, people used to jump straight up. And this guy came up with the idea, why don't we jump on a back? And everybody criticized him, how is this going to happen and all. Eventually, it got a name called Frosbury Flop. Frosbury Flop, correct. And everybody started jumping back because that made it easier and jump higher. I'll probably try to connect this video of this and the 4 mile and all, but that's a little story. This is always for reference. But what excites me or what has changed my paradigm is this. It changed my definition of fear. It just said that it is self-created and it can be destroyed. And all you have to do is head on, go, fight it. And maybe it's too small. And it is most of the time too small. And the 7-foot wall has just become my mantra. It's become a story I've shared with many in my life. But I would say it's just something amazing that happened to me that started the whole reflection process. And I think anybody can do it. It's just about either you need a reference point or you can do it yourself. All right. So I think the story I'm sharing is just to let you know that fear is self-created, right? So you can break it, you can do it, you can destroy it, you can do anything of that. So let's go get it, guys. Fear is nothing. I'm sure many have experience. So if you had an experience, you can share with us. It will help others to know about it. But I'm sure most of us have created in our mind and we can break it. So have a lovely day. Hope this story inspires you. Bye-bye. Thank you.